Alright, so deck tech, and I'm going to try to make this quick. Yeah, so basically, I don't know if I'm going to be showing, I don't know if I've already uploaded, because I haven't decided yet. I've recorded a bunch of matches, and I haven't uploaded most of them at the time I'm recording this one, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to be uploading these or not, but I did mess around, and I did get some recordings, too. Again, I'm not sure if I've used them for my uploads, but I wanted to see how Lurrus Merfolk would compare to Svelen, and the takeaway was I was also getting kind of mediocre results. I was at least, though, not experiencing the same type of mana screw like I was in some of the later games with the Svelen builds. I think there's a better chance I'm going to be uploading some of those, although I'm not sure. Because I actually recorded quite a few matches, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to squeeze all of those in before like some kind of major set happens. I kind of, what I do is I kind of try to record, if I can, roughly maybe like about twice as many leagues as I need, and then I can kind of pick and choose on some level. That being said, that's not always the case. Like, I've only got one video recorded as of right now for Obosh Prowess. That was the Ragavan video. I had to try Ragavan, and I had to record it. So, you guys were getting a pretty raw impression of I think that might have been, I forget which league that was. I played, I played some number of practice matches. Can't remember if I played an entire league or how many, or if I played more than one league, but I do remember it was still fairly early on in my testing. I do want to get more in, but anyway, the point is that at the end of the day, the Lurrus deck did help me avoid getting mana screwed more. I mean, mana flooded, but the trade-off was that it felt like the raw power was not as much there. Svelen was just, whenever our attack with Svelen, it just feels like we win the game, unless the opponent's comboing off or something. Lurrus just did not live as much. Lurrus, if it lived, oftentimes did just run away with the game, but with only 2 toughness, and without the indestructibility, Lurrus just seemed like it wasn't, and also having to telegraph it by just putting it into your hand, it just seemed like Lurrus wasn't living as much. So, anyway, I did try one league before this one. I did record it, but the recording quality was just not that good. There was a lot of pauses. I really wasn't feeling it. So I'm probably not going to be using that one. I went 3-2, and, the thing is, even though it was a kind of mediocre result, I played pretty much this exact same list, just with the Spreading Seas and the Repeals inversed, main deck and sideboard. Because I basically, sideboarded Repeal in every single time, so... I mean, this is fairly close, but I just like the Swiss Army knife aspect of Repeal, and playing it in the main seems nice. It gets blockers out of the way, it can save your creatures, it can, be a card advantage engine with, like, Silvergill Adept. I don't know what else to say, just, it's a multi-purpose card that I like. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, playing the Minamo and Oboro, it's basically free. Minamo is definitely not frivolous in this deck, with Svelen being a very good attacker and blocker, especially when it's indestructible. Definitely want to try out Riptide Laboratory. I was actually impressed if there's one takeaway from last league, it was that we got to see a lot of really impressive use of Riptide Laboratory. So man, for that reason alone, actually, I wonder, but no, but actually, in reality, actually, my bad. I didn't actually record them. I had them all marked to maybe do post league commentary, because I think I did very good in the beginning. So actually, never mind that one. I'd have to do post league commentary over all of them. I did a deck tech and a post league wrap up though. But no. Anyway, long story short, in a test league I did. Riptide Laboratory did come in handy a lot. Every once in a while it might color screw us, but with only one of these, most likely, statistically speaking, it's going to show up relatively later in the game after we've already drawn through a decent number of cards. It's usually when it's at its best anyway, when we actually have the lands to be able to use it. And Castle Vantress, so it's decent enough, and it's really going to color screw us with only one. Castle Vantress is also really going to screw us by coming into play tapped with only one. Sometimes these cards, could mess with it, but we'd have to draw exactly this and these. It's much more likely that if we draw this and another blue source, it's going to be one of our 8 islands. Anyway, not much more I think I can say. Just, deck felt very solid in the test runs. Very similar to the league I 5-0'd with. With Glasspool Mimic. I think I didn't realize that actually, I I didn't play this card before because the 3-drop slot, I just never wanted to tick up Vial to 3 before I was playing, you know, actual 3-drops in my deck. But now that, and also when I was playing Luris, actually, I couldn't even play it at all while enabling Luris. But now that we're back to playing 3-drops, I actually think this card also impressed me in some test games because it was a land a lot of times, but it was also a creature a lot of times, and a copy of Silvergill Adept. I've always missed that from a Phantasmal Image, and this has some advantages over Phantasmal Image anyway. So, long story short, this card just helps deal with the mana flood issue, and unlike playing 4 Castle Vantresses, if I'm really mana flooded, I can just straight play these as spells, which is almost always better at resolving mana flood than just like tapping a bunch of lands and having even more lands in your hand. Like just drawing 7-8 lands was always brutal. Anyway, other than that, the rest of these cards have been pretty standard. Spreading Seas in the sideboard is just really solid. Some matchups we want the more permanent effect, like Jund to turn off their Raging Ravine or something. Sometimes we want extra hate against Tron. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But I think I really like this deck. I really liked it from the test leagues, even though I didn't set the world on fire. The deck was the fundamentals of the deck were not letting me down, and Sphelin was taking over the game whenever it stuck. So I don't know what else to say. All right, let's see. Okay, match 1. Maybe hopefully we can get some quick games in. Nope, can't keep this. Well, this hand's a little clunky, but it is keepable. And one of those rare instances I discussed where the Castle Vantress might be a bit of an issue came up. I guess we can bottom it. It kind of sucks bottoming the card because it definitely can have a lot of potential, but yeah, we'll just leave it immutable. Yeah, it will come into play tapped here, and that could be a problem. Okay, so it looks like burn or red-white prowess. Hard to say which I'm I guess it's slightly better that it's prowess because because this dismember isn't completely horrible in this situation. Alright, so they got the triple 1 mana prowess creature start with Mistress Bauble. Not bad. With double Mistress Bauble, not bad. I was going to say with triple Mistress Bauble, not bad. Man, see, this is how you... I suppose I could have... Nah, I'm not going to force negation Mistress Bauble. Alright, so let's get this out of here. Alright, well, at least we have Merfolk Trickster to slow things down a bit, hopefully. We are force negating a Manamorphose. Well, can't force negate that. Well, I guess we have to force negate this, right? I mean, that would suck. I think we have to, though. So we can use the other Trickster. Slow things down a bit. Fortunately, I can't really block this profitably. I'm predicting a Lava Dart. They might want to wait till next turn, though. Okay, not a Lava Dart, but Lightning Bolt, you know. Well, Lightning Bolt to face isn't necessarily as bad if we can brickroll them. Tide Shaper. I can push 9 damage, but I don't really see where that takes us. Yeah, let's just end turn. And then we're just sitting ducks for burn spells here and there to finish us off. Yeah, we really need Chalice of the Void in this matchup. They get to scry their top card too. Very nice. Well, can't block the flying creature, so I guess we'll have to go boom, boom, boom. And we pretty much just have to hope this is good enough, because if it's not, then we're screwed. Alright, maybe it is. Well, and by is, I mean not. Put Luris to hand. We're actually cracking back for lethal. Oh my goodness, did we actually won that. That's Merfolk, you know. If there's ever a definition of Merfolk, it's turning the tide. That did not feel like we won that game. Well, Dismember is painful, but I think it's a necessary evil. Force Negation was also painful in the card disadvantage, but it was also a necessary evil. I mean, so like, I guess that means we take out Tide Shaper because it conflicts with Chalice, even though it was helpful there. I think we need Counterspell, even though it's a little slow and clunky. Even though the Lords turned the tide, I think we trim them because I think we have to focus a little more on controlling the situation. Our Lords often don't even trade 1-for-1. That was just kind of like a freak good luck there at the end. They just, I guess, drew a land off the top. The funny thing is, if they would have, yeah, we'll keep. The funny thing is if they would have kept their Swift Spear on top, we may have had to have blocked. Well, I guess we could have blocked the Master itself. So I guess they were fishing for another instant or sorcery. Okay, man, and the damage already starts. And the damage already starts. I was gonna say, and the damage already starts. There's gonna be a third one. Alrighty. I guess just on the off chance they're playing Blood Moon, I'll lead on this. I don't want to play out the Glasspool because I think that's going to be fairly good as a copy creature. Or at least I want to keep that possibility open. I'm guessing light up the stage or not. Okay. Let's see. I could repeal, or I could tricky trick. I think I'll repeal because I'm going to want a Silvergill at some point, and I want to drop Svaelun next turn, and if I do Merfolk Trickster into Svaelun, I may or may not draw another. This could be flawed reasoning, but I'll take and see if or see if they do anything. Okay. Okay. Hopefully this has put Luris to hand. Alright, that's exactly what it is. Alright, so we'll hit this because it doesn't have haste. Okay. Alright, so let's get Svaelun down here. And the cool thing is Svaelun plus Force Negation backup is pretty strong. That's one of the things I like about Svaelun. They may have to cobble together burn spells to kill it, and I may have Silvergill. I mean, I may have Force Negation. I could even block with Svaelun, but It's not ideal, but it's even not a half bad blocker. And maybe I even could. I mean, it's definitely creating issues for them that they've never had before when we have a 3/4 sitting here. Thank goodness this has 4 toughness, you know? I kind of wish it had 5. I kind of wish it was a 4/5, but that's obviously busted, and this would then a whole bunch of other decks besides Merfolk would snap included. Can you imagine 3 mana for a 4/5? Whenever it attacks, draw a card with all this other text. And imagine it wasn't legendary. Okay. Okay, can't counter the creature spells. Well, I'm going to block, and I'm going to force a negation. I have to take trying to kill a creature wherever I can. I'll get rid of 1 Glasspool. Okay, they had 2. Well, still, I still prevented a lot of damage, and because they also had to use their pump spells very inefficiently. I might draw another one too, and I've also got the Silvergill plus Trickster follow-up play. Yep, and I've got another backup Svalin, so things may not be all that bad. Okay. And I think I tap down the Soulscar. They're flooding a bit, that's good. Yeah, we'll take. Can take just 2. Now, ideally, okay, that we've got kind of a pseudo answer to Lurrus. Or not really, because the problem is we can't play both Svalin and Trickster the Lurrus, but I can tell you we can play the Glasspool Mimic. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell. Yeah, to be mana efficient, let's play the Mimic. Hopefully they don't Lava Dart or Silvergill, but then we'll just copy the Trickster, which is not as cool, but alright, cool stuff. I love copying Silvergill. Alright, and then we get Trickster the Lurrus for 1 turn. You know, maybe I should have attacked. I should have attacked. I'm sorry about that, guys. We can't live in fear of them attacking. We have to go on the offensive sometimes. Then again, they could have just eaten our stuff because I had an untapped mana. I think it would be unwise to just let everything through. I think we have to double block this, or at least block 1 creature to this. I'm going to treat these as basically chump blocks. We might just be dead here. What's the, Alright, if we're dead, we're dead. But I don't want to overdo it. Okay. Okay, I think them targeting this is a good sign if they're not going for our face. Fortunately, we lost our Silvergill ability to return with Laboratory, but so it goes. Man, the Laboratory brown mana really is actually causing issues now. I want to attack. Yeah, I guess I would do. I guess I have to attack. I'm gonna put Zveloon on blocking duty. Should have attacked last turn. They would have been at 6. I might even been threatening lethal. And I guess I probably... Actually, I should have held back to block and then used the wizard ability. No, but actually, yeah, or I should have attacked with Mutavault and still had have an indestructible blocker helps. Yeah, I need a block with the Mutavault, actually, that's what it is. Okay. Blocking with the Trickster, though, and returning with Laboratory was an option. They're a little floody. That's super good for us. Attack Thoris too. Okay, well let's do this. I mean, this could be GG, but if it's Lava Dart, it is. If it's Lightning Bolt, it probably is too. Alright, well, Svalin is still indestructible, so this is not going to actually kill it outright. Down to 2. Boros dies. And do I crack back for 12 then? I doubt it. I doubt that's going to be a thing. But what am I supposed to do? Not go for a win? Oh my goodness, what? How did I beat Red-White Prowess without even, like, the sideboard cards? I don't know, that also didn't feel like a win. Cool. Alright. Match 2, let's see. Well, hand isn't perfect, but maybe it's good enough. And I do think I have to play out Short-Glass Mimic, as cool as the proposition of pitching Force would be. And we did actually pitch a Glasspool once to Force. That's something you can't do with any other land. Alright, looks like more Prowess type decks. I'm calling it Red Prowess. I can add could be Delver, could be other things, but so I mean I could Trickster it, but you know, let's try to mess with their mana a little bit. I could even force a negation. Two mana for a 2/2, make their land an island. Not too bad. Don't tell me that they kept a 1-lander. That would be sweet. Okay, no. We can't live in Magical Christmas Land. I think I will force a negation this, though. Yeah, pitch repeal. Alright, well, you know, let's try to keep the lands tapped down, shall we? Mutagenic growth? Okay. It's a 1-drop, but sometimes it feels like a 2-drop. Oh, they're no fun. Wish it attacked each turn of Fable, even if you didn't have the ability triggered. I'm gonna say this might be a Gigantha Prowess type deck, like the ones I was playing for a while before I played Obosh Prowess, and even sometimes in between. Gigantha is definitely a cool. I mean, it's like it's a vanilla card, but still, like it's something that they have to respect. All right. I mean, I have to respect it, at least if they get to 5 mana. Faithless, so draw a card, discard a card, then draw a card, rebound. Okay. Well, I don't think this is going to reach Delirium anytime soon, so I'm not sure. Are they going to somehow get Delirium? No. Okay, well I guess I was planning to Trickster that, but... Oh, maybe they'll Lava Dart. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. I mean, this is still card disadvantage, Faithless Salvaging. Alright, Merfolk Trickster. Man, once we get to 3 mana, Sphaloon seems pretty sweet, but let's see. Okay, you got me. You know, I will say though, even though these creatures do die to bolt and whatnot, like, the more creatures we have that they can't ignore and that they have to bolt, like Nikachu says, like, he's absolutely right. It, in a way, does help protect our lords, because if they have to deal with this because their mana situation is getting cramped, that does increase the chances that our lords live. And if our lords live, that's usually pretty good for us, even if their island walking ability is not enabled. And who knows, they might even have an island somewhere, although this might just be off-color. Oh, it's blue-red Prowess, I think. Well, blue-red or mono-red Prowess. Yeah, see, they've got a... They have to respect that card. Okay, I mean, so I could attack, but I'd rather play Sphaloon. I mean, I'd rather play Sphaloon than attack full force, because if they Lava Dart, they can block and chomp and kill. Let's kill this thing. Play Mutagenic Growth as well. Yeah, I wanted to play Sphaloon, but hey. Alright, well, I think we'd kill this in a turn. There are ways from playing Gigantha. Svalin seems like a great way to close the game out. Alrighty. Yeah, that took it because it was going to get ward as soon as this resolved. Yeah, they just concede, yeah. Yep, Svalin. Yeah, I mean, that big butt and the card draw ability just actually, even against these Prowess decks, actually just helps out so much. I mean, I'm calling this Giganta Prowess. Like, it's not necessary. It definitely plays a lot of cards that were not my favorites in Giganta Prowess, although other than the new Dragon card and the new Looting card, I don't think there's anything that I haven't played at some point or another, but still, it's a Giganta Prowess deck, but not necessarily one built with my usual favorites. But, you know, I could, of course, been missing something. Just because I sort of pioneer a deck does not necessarily mean that I have perfected it, you know. It just means I'm comfortable GMing the deck, whereas other people may not be. That's kind of all it really means. Yeah, I don't think I need all the lords. I mean, Spreading Seas could be good. I don't think those are necessary either. Force of Negation, Svalin, Glasspool, Merfolk Trickster, 5 lords, Silvergill, Counterspell, Repeal. I like it. I like it, folks. It's not perfect. Actually, Svalin, though, gives me a certain degree of staying power, though, that I just never had before. And on 3 mana instead of 2. Yeah, it was probably a mistake for me to even consider not playing it. Yeah. I think Force Negationing that Metamorphose last turn really helped. I'll just take 2. That's fine by me. Then we may have this one here. Okay. I'm going to force and negate this. I'll force pitching force. I'll dismember this now so I don't turn on Spectacle. Yes. Last full sure. Alright. I'll probably end up repealing this, although I could also just put Trickster in play. What I could do is I could Trickster that and then end of turn repeal it after that. Or just repeal it now, Trickster it on the way back. That might not be the worst thing ever. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. I know it seems a little janky, but yeah. Wanted to see what my next draw would be. I can tap it down. Okay. I'll do this. Yep, they kill it. I think I'm just going to leave it on 2 for now. And I'm just going to play Svalin. See if they have an answer to it. Kind of seems like they may not have an answer to it, which is pretty sweet. I'm going to do this first just because I want to tap that down and prevent the ability next turn. You know, I'll just do this for the attacks. I'll do this. And now I've got a bunch of Merfolk that have Ward 1 and an Indestructible Svalin. Not bad if you ask me. think that's gonna be a 2-0-4-0, hopefully. Yep, alright, cool. Well, they were mana screwed, so I can only count that so much, but hey. Alright, match 3, and hey, this hand definitely looks playable. Any hand with Svelun looks playable. Goodness, this is actually a high-powered super Merfolk, you know. In my humble opinion, this is so much better than Master of Waves. It's not even funny. Master of Waves was a good card back in its day, but the difference between 3 and 4 mana is huge, and the difference between 4 toughness and pro red is also huge, and the difference between just drawing a card, I don't know what else to say other than just that. Alright, well, it's Troning time. And I think I think this version would overall be better than the Laris version most of the time. But in this particular instance, I'm a little bit low on interaction. If this was 8 seas and these were spreading seas, and it might be over. Now let's do this. Hopefully they don't have another easy way to put Tron. Little floody, not gonna lie. Alright, we have to hope. Okay, I'll take this. Now hopefully this doesn't mean they have Dismember. I just can't take up the opportunity to start drawing cards next turn. And when they could explode into an Urza land off the top at any moment, I don't know why they would concede. Okay. Alright, let's continue. We're not going to just auto-yield to this because... Okay. Well, let's definitely do this. I guess we should have tapped the island, really no reason not to. Okay, good thing we didn't play our land yet, because playing this is way better. Okay, if we fade one more, and I think it has to be Tron off the top. Oh man, I couldn't believe that. That one force of negation, like, but make no mistake, it was so critical that we had a quick kill there. I mean, relatively quick. Anyway, well, now that we also bring in the spreading seas, I have to imagine that we're going to be in pretty good shape here. Dismember seems almost completely useless. Also, Repealed can be okay, but I think I'll take Counterspell any day of the week. Yeah, Force Negation and Counterspell, 8 Seas effects. I like my Tron matchup now. We could try Chalice, but Chalice is a little gimmicky. Sometimes it sets them off, but sometimes they just drop Oblivion Stone, and that's that. Well, I mean, hey, we've got 2 pieces of hate, the Force Negation and the Tide Shaper. The Force Negation is actually the more powerful one, because it's free, and this isn't okay, if that's map, we were going to counter it for sure. Okay. Island. Nice. Alright, so I guess we're spreading seizing while also playing a creature. Seems like a really bad time for Tron. Alright, second verse. Shame is the first here. Well, they don't insta-Tron. Still, the only thing is I don't want them to drop an Oblivion Stone. That's the only thing. I still just cannot, in my good conscience, let them have that. Oblivion Stone would be the worst thing, because then we're in a race against naturally curving out to 5. But that is a race we might be able to win. Okay. Well, not ideal, but still. At least all the Merfolk in our hand can be cast. And they're 2 Tron lands away. I think we can wait one more turn. I want to draw into more mana. But that is nice, unless they play Chalice or something. We do have the ability to cut them off their next land. They didn't see these game 1, so they might have. They brought in Nature's Claim for Spreading Seas, but they need creature removal for this effect. This is kind of like Magus of the Sea in a way. Whoa! Spicy! Well, Karn, you know, it's been said before, and it can probably be said again. Karn will make almost any deck better. So they can get like Walking Ballista, and then suddenly Ensnaring Bridge. That's also kind of not ideal. Well, let's take this off, and thankfully we can do so without having to... We don't have to worry about playing a Tide Shaper this turn. I mean, we could play the Tide Shaper, but I need its ability. And maybe we hit the other Urza's power plant. We took out Repeal. That could make things a little awkward, but they might get stuck with expensive cards in their hand when we Tide Shaper the other power plant. I guess we Tide Shaper the mine then. I guess it's been decided. I don't know, I kind of want to play Svalin, but we can't afford them getting Tron. Plus it may not even be able to attack next turn. Certainly if they drop Tron, they can play whatever's in their hand to their heart's content. Okay, good thing we played the Tide Shaper. Oh, Bust Zone, that's a good one. Okay, but that may or may not actually result in them getting Tron. I mean, I gotta play Svalin sooner or later. Can't just hold back behind Counterspell forever and ever and ever. 2, 4, 5. They may not want to draw cards. Yep. Okay. Alright, we'll play the Aether Vial, we'll hold up Counterspell. We have to hope that they just get stuck with cards in hand. I think we have to counter this. It's not the most exciting thing to counter, but if they get Tron, then they can empty whatever's in their hand. Do we have lethal? We do technically have lethal, although they may have a way around it. What are we supposed to do? Not go for lethal? We may not have another opportunity. I mean, you'd think they would have played it. I mean, I guess they. I mean, but why on earth wouldn't they do this before my attacks? Well, because maybe they didn't have a black mana. I don't know. Well, alright, well, hey, under Ensnaring Bridge, no answers in the main deck. Nice. Or at least we cited out the answers. Okay, cool. Alright, match 4. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll keep. Hand isn't perfect, but these Glasspool Mimics are a little deceptive. They are, in fact, creatures. I think this opponent's playing Burn. Well, either way, gotta play this out. Maybe more like Is It Prowess? Zero, zero. Or it could be Storm. So let's see. What do we want to do? Do we want to Tide Shape? Tide Shaping will take them off of red. We don't even know if red is their jam. Yeah, but at the same time, what else am I going to do, right? Let's do it. This might even help them, but... What? Okay, I guess that was the right play. I did not know that that was an instant win play. I have to imagine this is it Prowess, because if that's Storm, there's just no way they concede in that spot. They have to be red heavy. Well, let's see. I'm going to sideboard As Though They Are. As Though They Are Is It Prowess. Which somehow we've inexplicably been able to beat once already. I mean, we do have the Chalices, but that doesn't always do it. The rest of these cards, man, I like them. The rest of these cards, I do in fact like them. Blah. I mean, how lucky am I feeling? I'm not this lucky. I'm feeling a little more lucky about this hand. It has a higher upside because of Chalice. Yeah, this is very dubious because I may never get to 2 blue mana. Delver. Okay, well, the good news is I think the way I sideboarded for Prowess is pretty much the same way I want to side against Delver. Let's see here. And I miss the days when I could repeal a flip Delver for 1. Kind of didn't make sense though, but... Now, if we spike another land, do we play Chalice or do we play Aether Vial? I may have to play Aether Vial. Man, we did do this, and I hate when this happens because this really puts us to the test. You know what? I'm chickening out. I'm playing this. I'll probably repeal the Delver if it flips. I'll probably. Well, okay. I guess we'll take the fort. You know, I don't know, guys. Sorry. I know this is a good player. Probably just having a bad day. I've scooped sometimes a little earlier too. Usually, those almost never make it into a recording. Anyway, it is what it is. I don't know what else to say. It looks like it's kind of like Delver Prowess. I'm going to call it Delver Prowess. Seems like a cool concept. Anyway, next time, I guess. Okay, match 5. So I wonder if this is the famous Antoine Raoul. It's Antoine 57437. If it is, thanks for that World's Nether Spirit deck. That kind of launched my, in a way, my foray into competitive Magic of sorts. I mean, it wasn't true competitive Magic for me back then, and unfortunately here we are experiencing the downside of Castle, but I don't know, still as a one-of, it seems like this is going to happen sufficiently rarely. That is probably okay, but yeah, if it is Antoine Rule, thanks for the Nether Spirit deck. Even though Nether Spirit's time has come and gone. Okay. I'm going to... Yeah. Because unfortunately that may just be pretty much the only thing I can counter. I may just hold this just to force a negation. It can't be right. I may also just hold this just for more gas. I know this seems weird, but... You know. Okay. Aether Vial is a sufficiently powerful card. I mean, giving rid of Merfolk Trickster is no joke. Ideally, I want to play this and copy my creature. Alright, well I have to lose out on one turn, so I'm definitely tempoing myself here by holding on to this. I do, in theory, like the idea. Now, unfortunately, if they play Skyclave Evaporation, then my experiment will be a horrible failure. And honestly, it already probably... Okay. Well, they're probably going to get Skyclave Evaporation. Although if I played this, they probably would have gotten... well, they couldn't have gotten, what's it called, Flicker Wisp. I really set myself back here. Shouldn't have been clever, but you never know. I mean, sometimes you just draw a lot of lands, and that's like a bigger problem. I'm also not as mana screwed as they think, and maybe that's a hidden advantage. Okay, fine. Okay. Glasspool Mimic. Alright, I guess, so what can we do? Can we color screw them off for red? I guess technically we can. Yeah, let's do that. Let's color screw them off for red. Or try to, at least. Oh man, I wish I could force a negation to some of this stuff. Boom. Alright. I mean, at the end of the day... No. I'm just gonna give it protection. Alright, it's Sphaling time. Or Double Lord. No, it's absolutely Sphaling time. And next turn I can attack, and hopefully it'll be indestructible. It's a great blocker here, too. Great attacker, great blocker. Gotta love Squealin. Sibilan. Okay, what's up? They gotta have, like, Lightning Bolt or something, but if they do, I've got Force Negation, so... Yeah, sure. Or they're just doing it because of this. Okay, what is this? I could force negation this, but at this stage in the game, what did they even get? They revealed Skyclave Operation again. Yeah, at this stage in the game, I don't need to worry about that. Well, I've got a backup. Alright, backup Sphaling at least is something. Alright, any untapped land here will be a pretty good curve out. Not sure what to call this deck. I guess red-white taxes. I mean, it seems like a taxi type deck. Well, I'm still gonna try to... I've still got my trusty Force Negation, so I can still block somewhat aggressively. Ephemerate. Well, I would rather not. I'd just rather not, really. And there was my next land, too. Alright, well, let's just play it out anyway, just because whatevs. I don't think they're attacking back for lethal, and we certainly are representing a decent chunk of damage. So I don't know, inexplicably we might be in a better spot than you think. Could have held up a mana just to bluff, but I can always return the Oboro to my hand and pretend, and maybe they'll forget what was in my hand. Oh, what's in my hand? Yeah, more of this. Well, in a way, maybe the Lords are better anyway, so... I don't think this is lethal. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, never mind, it's exactly lethal. Well, we seem to surprisingly... instantly leaves the game. Antoine Rule here seems to have a really, really good connection. I mean, he must be really jamming the magic. So, hopefully Antoine Rule is seeing still good days. Hopefully all the good days aren't behind him. I mean, there's a pretty decent chance the real Antoine Rule is just not playing Magic anymore. I don't know though. I could be totally wrong. I've heard of Oliver Rule. I don't know if they're related. I probably should. I should probably know more about Magic. But I always heard that name, Oliver Rule, and I always kind of wondered if that was a relative of Antoine Rule. Never actually seen what Antoine Rule looks like, but I just remember that Nether Spirit deck. It was just so sweet because infinite blocking. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to call this Mardu Taxes. I mean, I don't know. Man, I was actually 4080 before this. Actually, why am I bringing in Chalice? I mean, it is good against Ephemerate, but that's it. Man, oh man, though, we've got to be able to deal with Ephemerate. Yeah, I like Spreading Seas, I think, a little bit better. It's a little less... Well, it's about the same thing, but at least we draw a card off of it. You know what? The reality is that game is not a fair representation of what happens in these Taxes matchups. I just don't think I can count on counter magic, and that can be a little bit, scary. But I think even without the counter magic, we have the tools. But the problem is the counter magic just gets blanked hard by Aether Vial. The only reason we were able to, well, I mean, I guess Force Negation could still have a place. Oh, can't keep this. Oh, can't keep this. Well, oh, can keep this. Well, I love Glasspool Mimic plus Silvergill Adept. I just don't know what else to say. We might have to attack next turn because if we don't draw another Merfolk, we may not be able to. Okay, they're off to a good start with Aether Vial. Any day now. Well, I guess we do get to play this, and I do think I will. Now the question is, do we want to just play the Tide Shaper out? And probably no. Almost certainly no. Yeah, that's a juicy land to target. Actually, repealing the Aether Vial is even juicier. Yeah, let's repeal it. Let's repeal it now so we can... Okay. I'm still holding off on Tide Shaper. I just think the Tide Shaping is good enough that I do think we want to do that. Okay, well if they take Aether Vial, I think we've already... Yeah, the good news is we've already got a lot of use out of it, unlike last game. And they're also not playing their Aether Vial, so... Okay, so we could have copied our Lord, actually, and pushed through some mega damage. But there's just something I like about copying this Silvergill. No, I mean, it's gotta be... The problem is, what if they flicker? Alright, look, I've gotta play to win, okay? I mean, it's fancy to flicker, I mean, to, like, get another draw effect from Silvergill, but let's just play to win. I think they kind of have to have Ephemerate. Or this, I guess. But with this, we can also hit their land, and they're still not playing Aether Vial. Oh, never mind, they're playing Aether Vial. Oh, never mind, they're Ephemerating. Alright, so they pretty much had everything we were afraid of. Well, at least we pushed a lot of damage. Well. Maybe all is not lost. Actually, let's attack and offer the trade. I'm fine if they want to trade. Yeah, because remember, this is one less thing they can Ephemerate. Oh yeah, I forgot. At least we get a token for our efforts. Maybe I shouldn't have played anything. I definitely shouldn't have played anything. Forgot about the Ephemerate coming back. Alright, 1 second. 1 second. Alright, post-league wrap up. So, first of all, sorry about that last game. Had to concede, even though there was still more game to be had. I feel bad about that. It's like I obviously kind of seemed like we were losing that, but I wouldn't, under normal circumstances, never concede in the middle of a match like that. And I don't know, maybe that's not the best viewing experience, but heck, we did go 4-1, and I do think my commentary, was it just hate is like it really sucks to lose out on a possible 5-0. because of like an unexpected phone call, but like at least as of right now, the nature of my work is that my boss can call at any time, even on the weekend. And you know, long story short, pretty much. 1 second. I'm actually getting a call right now. I don't think this is my boss now. It's not his number. So like, anyway, long story short, no, actually, I guess technically it wasn't my boss. It was somebody else, work related, that I had to take the call. Anyway, long story short, yeah, that's just the way it rolls for me sometimes. And yeah, I mean, you know, not to say that I've never conceded, you know, even earlier than Jeff Hooglin, which is, you know, a pretty early standard, but most of the time, if I'm conceding early, it's either because I registered the wrong deck. So if you ever see me jump into a league and then immediately concede, I mean, it doesn't happen that frequently, but like, it's probably because I registered the wrong deck. It just, you know, I hate when that happens, but usually I'm willing just to basically effectively spend the $10 just to like actually run the deck I wanted to test. Usually, I mean, sometimes I'll roll with it if I'm just suddenly feeling like I'm in the mood for another one, but I mean the different one. But yeah, long story short, this deck did perform very well. I hope that you know, the premature concession on the last one didn't ruin it. But there was just no way. Yeah, there was just no way I was going to be able to finish that in a reasonable amount of time. It was a fairly lengthy call. I just knew I wasn't going to come back. I've been here before, so sometimes the game drags on, and you know, and then I just time out. Anyway, yeah, I mean, the cards, I mean, we didn't get to see as much use out of Riptide Laboratory as I did in my test leagues, but still, it never color screwed us as far as I remember, so that's good. Castle Vantress did screw us once by coming in to play tap, but I still stand by that. I think as a one-of, it's, you know, even with these Oboro and Minamo, I think it's going to come into play tap rarely enough that it's going to be just nice to have as another late game tool possibility. Yeah, I mean, I like the main deck repeals. Just I like having the Swiss Army knife, you know, options in the main. So it helps give it a lot of flexibility. And if it's not particularly useful, I can always pitch it with Force of Negation provided I got Force of Negation. We did pitch a Glasspool Mimic to Force of Negation once, so that was a good use of our, you know, and that felt good when I was able to do that. Yeah, and then yeah, I mean, in sideboard, Spreading Seas came in a few times, particularly at least against Tron. I'm trying to see what else we had going on. Yeah, it looks like we played Prowess variants 3 times this league in Tron 1, so I think mostly that came in against Tron, but still. You know, there's other matchups, like, you know, possibly Amulet, because, like, the thing is, like, it's not like, the thing about Spreading Seas is it's not a permanent answer or a permanent thing for Amulet Titan, but it does slow them down, because if you hit a crew land, yeah, they can just return it, but I mean, unless they have an Amulet out, if they return it, like, it's only producing 1 instead of 2 while it's on it, and if they return it, then it's going to come into play tap again. So believe me, Spreading Seas, if they tell you they don't care about Spreading Seas at all, they're lying. They just, what they mean is they mean Spreading Seas is not like, it's not the same as destroying it. Destroying it is so much better. But, you know, as long as your expectations aren't that you're destroying it, and you're just basically, you know, taking 1 mana off of it, then that's really what you're doing. You just reduce it from 2 mana to 1 mana for 1 turn. And, you know, I could see myself bringing it in, but I don't know. I don't know that I've thought this through for how many matches I'm going to bring in Spreading Seas. Definitely, like I said, against Jund in the deck tech. Yeah, actually, Death Shadow variants. Actually, there's a lot of decks where we just want a card that we can just play, draw a card, mess up their mana, mostly make it untargetable. Also allows us to repeal it for card advantage without necessarily exposing ourselves to as much of a blowout as targeting Silvergill Adept. So yeah, other than that, I'm not sure what else to say. I like the build, went 4-1, maybe could have gone 5-0 if we had been, you know, under different circumstances. I mean, you know, sometimes I record, how can I say, sometimes I record in times where I'm like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't record, like, you know, if like I'm gonna have to go somewhere or something, but like, you know, but like here, I think I was pretty much in the clear. It just was something unexpected. But anyway, still, I was impressed enough that hopefully this is of use. I really like these cards, and we'll see if we can continue and, you know, maybe get another 5-0 with the deck. I finally feel like Merfolks, I mean, hey, we beat 3 Prowess decks this league. When does that ever happen? And, like, that's pretty much all because of Svelin. I mean, just this giant backside for this card just really, really helps make this a good blocker. And then if it ever does attack, a lot of times you do pull ahead. Alright, anyway, take care, and we'll see.